Once upon a time, two retired teachers decided to convert their garage into a pottery studio. Along with their daughter and son, they built a business around the idea that the world could use a little more art and a lot more artists. We're the Kaya family. Welcome to Wocky Pots. Hi everybody, how you doing? How you been? How are things? Shane and Diana here for coffee time number 77 at Wocky Pots Studio. Holy cow, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Diana, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we can start by talking about our mega glazing day from last week.
You worked my fingers to the bone, you guys.
There is no way we could have glazed all 120 pieces.
Wait, stop. She said 120 pieces in one day.
Yes.
One day.
But we couldn't have done that if it weren't for the fact that Christopher and Karen came and...
Right, we had very capable help here in the
Yes.
studio with that glazing job.
Yes. And the oddest thing happened. We had no thought that 120 pieces would be going into the kiln.
You're right.
After they were glazed.
Really, we were just like machines, just trying to get as much glaze as possible.
Well, for one thing, we didn't think they would fit.
Right.
And I don't know, but somehow we wedged those pieces back in there, and
we couldn't fit another piece in.
And for the first time in a super long while, every single piece turned out. There was not one glaze imperfection.
Right, not a major flaw, which, considering the state of our kiln shelves,
Yes.
was a minor miracle.
Yes. So, I mean, I just was amazed. But we have a few of the pieces. Granted, a lot of the pieces left at the market yesterday. But we do have a few pieces on the table. We have some of the ramekins because, of course, they were for an order.
We'll talk about those in a moment.
And then we also have a couple of the plates. So I have to share these.
We'll show pictures close up for
Yes.
sure, but these plates turned out fabulous.
These were some of my very favorite things that came out of the kiln.
They turned out so great.
Easy to make, easy to glaze, but just so sweet.
Yep.
I just loved it.
Very nice.
That one, and then here's one of the rose ones. And so pretty.
Yep.
I just love that. You know, sometimes simple is good.
That's right. And for the purposes of making things to go out on the table, the faster we can make really good stuff, the better. So yeah, that's
Yes,
awesome.
that's true. Very, 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 very true.
So the glazing day went really well.
Yes.
I don't know how we managed it. There wasn't room for another single thing
Nope.
in the kiln, nor was there a single thing that didn't go into the kiln, which means it was an exact, to the piece, to the millimeter fit for our kiln. And we used every kiln shelf we have, every one we own. So we need to be thankful for that happenstance.
Yes,
That was kind of amazing.
We also had 3 Raku firings last week.
That's right. So we fired up the Raku kiln and we made some horsehair pottery pieces that are on display at the Osprey Nest on Chincoteague Island. And I'll show you a picture of their display. And I will also show you some pictures of us making the Raku pieces. We had our friend Doug come and help us with that first firing. Thank you so much, Doug. You were an awesome help, and it made things go a lot smoother with an extra pair of hands out there on the Raku kiln. And then the next day, we did 2 more firings. So 3 firings in total for all of the pieces that we did. And I think everything turned out fabulous.
Yes.
We didn't have any breakings, no cracks. Everything turned out really, really well.
And it was a smooth process. It was nice. So I was very thankful for that. And
of course, by now we have our algorithm for the Raku dialed in pretty tightly. I was chatting with somebody about this on Reddit about our burner setup for the Raku kiln, and they asked why I didn't use a knob regulator to get the temperatures precise. And of course, the answer to that is I've been able to manage getting it to within 20 degrees and being able to hold it indefinitely just by using a squeeze clamp on the burner and then combine that with the knob that is also on the burner. We can get it to where we need it. And although it might be a little bit fiddly, it hasn't really been worth the extra expense of getting a dedicated knob burner for it.
Right. And I have to say, one of the things that's just truly amazing to me is the fact that with everything that was going on, we made time to not glaze, but to make.
My goodness, we did make some things, didn't we?
We really did.
We did, didn't we?
You have to start by talking about that bowl.
Okay, so this bowl, you can't see it there because it's too far away. I will definitely show a closer picture of the texture of it.
That is phenomenal.
This is my first experiment using sodium silicate to make a cracked texture on the outside of a bowl. Now, these cracks are very, very fine. You won't be able to see them until I show you the closer picture. But the idea is that while the bowl is on the wheel, I run a band of sodium silicate around the outside, and then I push on the inside of the bowl to expand the bowl out, and that sodium silicate on the outside causes it to create these really interesting looking cracks as a texture feature on the outside. Now that I know how it works, definitely going to do it again on a larger scale because I think it's going to be great.
I have to say, it reminds me of when I was a little girl. Maybe this isn't the best analogy, but as a little girl, I would love mud puddles. And then after the mud puddles would start to dry, there was this like little skim on the top that always cracked as it dried, and that's what it reminds me
so that's
of.
not a bad analogy at all, because that's exactly what happens here.
Oh, okay.
The particles, instead of sliding past each other smoothly and stretching like what it normally happens on the wheel, instead of stretching like that, the sodium silicate causes the particles to separate, and then when they expand out, you're left with cracks. In other words, it doesn't slide out and expand like silly putty. You're left with these cracks, and since the sodium silicate is only on the outside, it only does it on the outside. The inside is perfectly smooth. Now, if I did this same effect on the inside, I don't know that it would have exactly the same effect because I have to push on the inside with my fingers. I feel like that would be smoothing it at the same time the cracks were forming, so it probably wouldn't work.
Right.
But,
and also then it wouldn't be food safe. This will end up being food safe.
Correct. Yep.
Because the food would go on the inside and the outside is going to get covered in a clear, right?
Exactly. So the intention here is to use some kind of a wash, maybe manganese or something like that, so that the cracks are highlighted, and then put a clear glaze on the outside and then a glaze on the inside. It will be completely food safe when it's done. So that was one thing. And then, should I keep talking about the stuff that I did?
Well, I can go ahead and talk for a second.
You talk
then
for a second.
You can go back because there's so much in front of you today.
Stuff. Okay.
Yes.
We don't have to talk about each individual thing.
No. Well, I don't know.
Anyway,
Maybe.
what are you going to talk about?
Okay. Well, I made some more chickens, and I made a little tiny pumpkin.
What's that stem? Don't pull the stem off.
Well, he should be on pretty good because he's not attached. I just sculpted it.
Right, but I don't want you to snap it off.
Yes.
So
I know, I have a habit of doing
We're feeling pumpkin-y, right? Feeling
and
autumny. Maybe eventually we can get out of these
wishful
100 degrees temperatures and get into
more of my little great horned owls, and then...
That's not a great horned owl.
No, but he's cute.
That's a no-horned owl.
No, this is a little snowy owl.
Oh, very cool.
I'm so excited with that.
You almost could just put a clear glaze on him.
Because
really. It's going to be bright white.
Yeah, so anyway, and then of course I did some more ornaments. However, this time they weren't the Chincoteague ornaments that I did. I took my roller that I designed with the sandpipers, sandpipers, and I rolled out and then I cut sections of it. Aren't they
very,
cute?
Very good.
So I have a little single one, and then I have the pair.
And then you get your live slow also.
Oh, yes, and that right now is such an important motto.
We are so jangled
for us.
I told Diana that many more weeks like this in the studio, and I'm going to be seriously reconsidering that lucrative circus career path that I was considering so many years ago. We need to talk about ornaments for just a second because many of those 120 pieces we talked about a moment ago that we packed the kiln with, many of those were the Chincoteague Island 2025 ornaments. Lots and lots of them. So we've been in ornament mode.
Yes, we have. And in fact, at the market, we sold 38 of those Chincoteague ornaments.
We'll definitely give you a picture of them. But those ornaments are selling like hotcakes.
Yes.
And really, it's for, for $5, it is an extreme bargain.
Yes,
it really is.
And one of the people who got them, because I explained the whole process, and she looked at me and she said, "That's a lot of work in those." Mm-hmm. And she turned around and she picked up 2 more.
Yep.
And I could not see putting more money on them than the other ornaments, because I was afraid that people would see the word Chincoteague and say, "Oh, they just marked them up because they say Chincoteague."
I think if we're going to charge more for ornaments, we'll charge more for all of them. And that won't be this year. Maybe next year the price will go up. But this year, all the ornaments, just to make it easier, whether they say Chincoteague or not, $5 is how much we charge for them. And we sell them hand over fist. We really do.
I did do lots of mugs last week, and I was so excited to be doing
And they turned out
this
so
mugs.
great.
They did, and I have, let's see.
Spin your little spinny thing.
Okay, I'll spin a little spinny thing.
Because you've got a turtle.
This is a turtle. I love that guy.
We'll show closer pictures.
And then here's a forest little roller.
Mm-hmm.
And what I plan on doing with this one is I'm going to have a band of color here and another band of color here. And then I'll do some color within this band, but it's also going to be clear. Mm-hmm. And then, it's been a while since we've had the Sea Star mugs on the table. So I went ahead and made another of those because the Sea Star plates have started going again like crazy.
Yep, people
so
love
I was
those.
like, okay,
and
let me
this
do that.
textured mug is fabulous. You have a little thumb rest on the handle.
I do. I was like, you know what? I'm putting a thumb rest. I felt really important, guys, by putting a little thumb rest.
And I see you've made a couple of spoon rests.
I do. I have some spoon rest. And this one, of course, has that little spiral because it was thrown on the wheel. And
she let me trim it, so guess what?
So you put the nice, pretty spiral.
I didn't put the spiral on the inside.
You put it on the
outside. So it's got matching spirals.
Yes, I had a spiral on the inside. It wasn't. I don't think mine was quite as pronounced as that. I think you doctored it out. A little bit. I was trying.
It helped just a little bit.
And on top of the spoon rest, we didn't have any incense holders anymore, and I just did a quick little sea star. And then I took one of our little tools and I poked into him and stuff in different places to give him texture.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
So it was fun. Yep. And I really enjoyed making that one. So, and of course I was having a really good time with these. So,
so you made lots and lots of stuff. And so far, all the stuff you see on the table that's the white clay will be going in for its bisque flaring today. In fact, minutes after we're done filming this episode, we're going to throw them in the kiln. Gently place them in the kiln and do a bisque flare.
Yes.
And some of the pieces that we're doing, in addition to this sodium silicate experiment, I also had an experiment with Narikomi. Now, this is, you may have seen some of the pieces that I tried this a little bit with earlier, but this is a far more formal experiment where I'm taking the different layers of brown and white clay and putting them together to make things. And I made a few of these things that are going to end up being like worry stones. But the idea is eventually I will put the clay together into a pattern, roll it out onto a slab, and then slab build something out of that pattern. And that's called Narikomi. And I can't wait to try that. Now, we had a commission that we're working on with, hi Wendy if you're watching, with these little small espresso cups. So I've got a few of those here. I only made 3 truly small ones that are close to the same size, close to the size that Wendy wanted, and then one that is slightly larger. But this is a failed espresso cup. In fact,
he's so cute.
But it's awesome. I'll show you a closer picture of this little goblet kind of cup. This was a failed espresso cup, and when I say failed, I mean it completely collapsed. And I don't know how I managed to convince it to go back into a shape on the wheel, but just when I was getting ready to scrape it off the wheel and start over with a fresh lump, it magically transformed into something that I thought was pretty awesome. So we're going to definitely keep this, and that's going to be a nice little drinking cup. It's going to be great. And so in addition to the smaller mugs, I also made some full-size mugs, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. These are some of the best mugs I've ever made, and I know I probably say that every freaking time, but I love that I can see my skills increasing. I'm getting better and better at making things. We've got some textures.
That one you're touching is my favorite.
So with the lime texture, I love that one. And then I love the shapes. Yep, I got it. I love the shapes of some of them too. This one has a little foot on it, and I love the shape on that.
Yeah.
So I was working on those.
They're really nice. I like
And
them.
I got tired of making stuff off the hump. So you see all the little condiment dishes, I was throwing them off the hump, and my intention was to make maybe 4 or 5 more than what you see here, but I got tired of making them. So I took the last bit and turned it into a really pretty bowl.
I know.
I think that's going to be fabulous.
Yes.
So that's pretty much all I've been making. So we were pretty busy making stuff last week.
And I'm very thankful for that. However, I will say we didn't get any days off last week either.
I know it was 0 days. You know how I know? Because I counted twice. Looked at the calendar, counted all the days we had off. 0 goose eggs. None. Nada. Zip. Not a day.
And it's catching up to us though.
Yep.
It really is. We're very tired and
You're getting cranky.
yeah.
I think I'm the one getting cranky.
It's definitely
So time for a day off.
Yes.
Now, I guess we should. Do you want to mention the ramekins that came out of the kiln?
Oh
also?
yes,
Did
because the Hanson Craftery is coming by in about another hour, guys, to pick up these ramekins as well as to select some other pieces.
We have 15 or 16. They asked for 15. We made a spare in case we screwed up. So we have the 15 they asked for, and then one bonus one that maybe they want, maybe they won't. Most likely they'll just vote that one off the island, and then we'll put it on our table, and that's fine. But these are meant for, and correct me if I'm wrong, these are meant for the dish soap that Hanson's Crafteries make. They make a cake of dish soap, and the idea is you take your dishcloth and you wipe it across the dish soap, and then you wash your dishes with it. It's a solid dish soap, and I think that's what they have intended for the ramekins. Now, I didn't do a very good job getting them absolutely exact when I was turning them.
Well,
I made some out of brown and some out of white,
and that was
but
the
they're
thing.
very close.
She did not need them to be exact either. She said, "Oh, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches tall."
And
so, she said, "Let them vary."
And we
fine.
made some kind of dark and more brown, and then a couple more that are really bright and colorful, like the ones you have in front of you. But every one is different. Each one is unique.
And I have to say, this is my very, very favorite one. It makes me so happy to look at that. I love this one together. It just sings to me.
It's fantastic. So the big surprise there was none of them really messed up when we were making them, and we did have some help. Christopher glazed this one.
Yes, isn't that so pretty?
Did a fantastic job. Dinah's cousin Karen glazed this one, and it just looks spectacular.
It does.
They all turned out really, really well. I think the Hansons are going to be very pleased when they pop in.
Yes, I think so too. Now this coming week, we have a lot going on this coming week, but a little bit less.
And we can see a little bit of a break on the horizon.
Yes. This coming week, we have the market on Tuesday instead of Wednesday.
Because of pony penning at Chincoteague Island. They take the wild horses and collect them all up together, march them down Main Street, and then they auction the wild ponies.
It's the 100th pony swim. So,
they swim them from Assateague Island to Chincoteague, auction them off, and then swim the remainder of the herd back to the island across the channel. It's a really big deal. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please look up the Chincoteague Pony Swim. In fact, maybe we should put a link in the description for that.
Maybe we can try to
so
find
you
that.
can understand. If you're not from here, you probably have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a big deal around here.
Yep, around these parts.
Yep. We are planning on doing our bisque load, of course, today, and then we will be getting a glaze load in. However, the glaze load won't be going in at its usual time. For one reason, we'll be at the market, and another reason, there's a lot of intricate glazing that needs to be done. I was trying to. We're
not going to be able to slap the glaze on in a very fast fashion.
Because I have lots of mugs over here on the rack too that are going to require some hand.
Your piping plovers or sandpipers require a very fine touch.
Yes, and I also have a flower mug over there that I'm considering doing each and every flower and leaf.
Which will add the time, but we're taking the time. And along those lines, we are going to be taking some days away from the market so we can stay in the studio, concentrate on making more pottery.
Right, and it's so super hot right now. We set up at the market Yesterday. 96 degrees.
And that's the actual temperature.
Yes,
was
the heat
96
index
degrees
was
in town.
105.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been really, really hot. It's to the point it's brutal. However, we did have one thing that helped us
We
yesterday.
had one hero at the market, and that was our Ryobi misting fan. So we had a battery-powered misting fan that connects to a 5-gallon bucket of water. We filled the bucket with water and then a bag of ice, and it misted out cool water, and it was a godsend. That fan was phenomenal, and I can't believe we've had it for a few weeks, and this is the first time we've actually tried it out, and it was stellar. It really made it much more bearable. In fact, with the mister on, we couldn't leave the mister pointing at us the whole time, or we'd have been drenched, we'd have been soaked. So for much of the day, I had the fan turned around, blowing out of our tent, so that people walking by could get cooled off, and many people were thankful for that little bit of a respite. They walked by, noticed there was a cool mist, like, ooh, I'm going to stand here for a second. We cooled off lots of people, so that's definitely going to be a normal part of our setup from now on. That misting fan was a real hero.
Definitely, and it made such a difference. I don't think I could have stood it yesterday.
We could not have stood it. I don't think so. It was just too hot.
I'm really looking forward to this week. Beginning to make for fall. Yes, I have this one little pumpkin, but that's
like the precursor, right?
Just
it's like
the beginning.
It's the little hint of what's to come.
I want some pumpkins. I want apple things. I want.
You said you're going to help me make cauldrons because
That's right.
Because I had not made them that time I said I was going to. I didn't. I want to make a bunch of cauldrons, basically round bowls, and I'll make them. And then I'll trim them, and then you can just put little 3 little legs on them.
Right.
And it'll be easy. I think
that'll be good.
Yeah.
The other thing we have to do this week, in fact, we have to do that before the 3rd. We have to get the first review on that little kiln that Vivor sent us.
That Vivor tiny kiln.
So I know we have to get it out of the box, get it set up. We've got to try it. And then, what is it, a month later?
About 3 weeks. So
later, we have to do another one.
We're going to do one initial impressions video with one firing. We'll fire something in it for the first time, maybe do a glaze or something. And then we will do an actual longer-term review in about 3 weeks with a different process. And I'm not entirely sure yet. My end goal is to see if a person can go from a lump of clay, make something, dry it, do a bisque fire in that tiny little kiln, and then do a glaze fire in that tiny little kiln. I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to look into it.
And I am going to order some, what are they called? They don't go under the glaze. They go over
glaze transfers.
Yes, I've never used them, so I thought I'd try.
Why not?
Try one and put it in that because I've never done them before, and maybe that's a use for it.
I think it is that little kiln. I think is going to be extremely useful for test tiles and for testing out different glazes, clays, and techniques, and getting a faster return than firing up the great big huge Mountain Doom that we have.
Yeah. So anyway, but I'm looking forward to trying to put it through its paces or trying to make it fail. I don't know.
Well,
I'm going to work it hard.
We're going to use it to its capacity,
yes.
and that's something we're going to get started with in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we've never had anything small. We've only had the big guy, and so maybe
we might love it.
We might. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, think about it. If you could take a piece of bisque, glaze it, and end up with a glazed piece of pottery in the space of one day.
Yeah.
I mean, why not try it? I mean, we can see what happens.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. However, as of right now, we think that our break from the market will be August 2nd and August 6th.
Right. So it'd be this coming Saturday.
Yes, I think
and then the following Wednesday. Now we're not positive yet. We will be positive by the end of the day.
Right. And then I'll have to let the folks at the market know. That way, if there's somebody who's on a wait list to get a spot, they could have our spot that
But
day.
we need the time in the studio and just to decompress and just rest and relax. So we're going to take that time. We'll spin the motorcycle out on the road for a bit. Maybe you can go for a ride with me, and
that would be nice.
And we'll just relax for a little while.
But we'll be back with coffee time
Yes,
next
coffee
week
time
because of course there will be things finished
Still
and things
lots
that
of
we're
stuff.
making.
Yep, many things still happening in the studio for sure. Oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
Yep. So what else do we have to talk about for today?
I believe that is it. So many wonderful things have been happening, and
Yep. And I think we
Looking
are
forward.
less than 20 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000.
that's right.
So if you know anybody who would enjoy our content, please let them know about us. And if you have not already, please do hit that like and subscribe button. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a big old party here in the studio because we've been trying to reach that for a long time.
yeah,
Yep.
it's there. It's right there.
It's within reach. We can see it, right?
So,
All right. Well, let's get the rest of this
All
day
right.
started because we got
Yes.
more things to do.
and folks coming.
That's right. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. Toodaloo, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care. See you later. Have a fantastic day no matter where you're at. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.